Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about Day of the Deadpool gold offers, or lack thereof, and more specifically whether it was a good idea to have them in the first place, or gold offers would have been a horrible idea to return this year, because I have seen a couple of people make the case for it recently. And before I go any further, I do have to be extremely careful and note that, number one, this video is by no means invitation to be mean, nasty, hurtful towards someone or anyone. And I will not tolerate it in my comment section as well. If you have meaningful, constructive feedback thoughts, please post it. If you just want to be a massive poo-poo head, then, you know, you're not welcome to leave that comment there. Or should I rather put is that comment along yourself might find yourself removed. Because regardless, I do believe that open discussion and difference of ideas is very important, and different perspectives and hearing them out is also very important, even if they do not correspond with my own viewpoints. Like this post definitely doesn't. Also, do want to note that the people primarily that have been talking about gold offers being quote-unquote bad for the players are people who have fairly close links and ties to Kabam, either employees or even though, for instance, Dragon is listed here as a content creator, I am unaware of any content that she has been creating since the end of MCOC podcast, but I do know that she has been doing contract work for Kabam, like with these Summoner Showdown posts and according to her own admission in other areas. So I do find it to be an important factor, because if a person kind of trying to present an argument that is relatively controversial in my opinion has direct financial links with Kabam, I will take it with a bigger grain of salt. Whether it's fair or not, I do think it matters the way you kind of position yourself in these type of situations and issues where it's company versus the community. But if the company is paying me money, I'm probably going to be a bit more lenient or might have a different point of view. At the same time, they might have access and privy to more information that makes them better educated to make broad statements than I would be. And there is something to be said about that as well. So, as a full disclosure also, since we are discussing gold, I am personally sitting on over 100 million gold, and obviously it would have been in my best interest for gold offers to return. So I'm not kind of trying to hide the fact that I would have been personally happier, you know, if the gold offers would have been here. All that being said, my position obviously is that gold offers were a cool, good novelty to kind of like have a hand. I don't want to say a handout, but something to look forward to for the free-to-play players that are typically more diligent in grinding arena or saving up their resources. And I think there was little to no harm in having them. However, that opinion is not shared by some of the content creators in CCP and Kabam employees, as well as Dragonway here openly. And the base point that she's making is ignoring like all the math, because it really isn't all that relevant, is basically that, you know, it costs a lot of gold to rank up a champion, and because of it, it's better that Kabam basically forcefully made you keep your gold in your account so you can progress better off not having had access to those gold offers, so you have gold left over to rank up your champions. Obviously, that only really applies if you do not have a larger stockpile of gold, but, you know, there are situations where this is applicable. There is a player out there who, for instance, last year spent 9 million gold on those offers, didn't pull a single good champion or what they were looking for, and was kind of like stunted in their ability to rank up champions. I do not, however, think it is the only group of players there that bought the gold offers. I do think plenty of people had the excess amount of gold, and these offers did not necessarily pose any long-term damage. Also, she's saying that selling the ISO is a horrible kind of like investment, which I personally disagree. I know that my personal situation is not always necessarily reflective of the community, but there are genuinely times when there has been more eventful side events or something like that, where you have opened plenty of cab crystals or from side events and whatever other rewards you got, or plenty of 4-star crystals, and you just have ISO expiring. Like, I don't typically sell my ISO, but if I have ISO expiring, I do sell some, and it's much better than letting it go to waste. Either way, I think much of it is to do with semantics, because the main point here that she was trying to drive home is, again, it's for your own good that the gold offers did not come back. However, obviously, the people on the forum didn't necessarily accept that premise immediately, and there were a lot of good counterpoints raised. For instance, one of the points that Dragon was making, that since minority of the players overall in the game would be able to get this offer, or this offer would be good for, it is a bad offer to have. But that's an every offer. Every time Kabam releases a cash offer, vast minority of the people in the game spend cash. Every time Kabam releases the unit offer for like 5 or 10,000 units, minority of the people will have those units for them. So I don't think the fact that, there are people who didn't have enough gold is kind of like good enough reason never to release an offer, because then by extension, any currency offer should not ever be released unless you can, if you take that argument to the logical conclusion, is that, every offer to a degree is going to be bad or shouldn't be released if not everybody can afford it. And the argument, the counter arguments that are being made here is the fact that, there is a 13-year-old with $0 to spend, and then no cash offer is ever good for him, right? If we're bringing in people who could not afford the gold. Another big point was the fact that there definitely were some people last year who were relatively unhappy with the fact that gold offers existed, or more specifically, they were unhappy that they couldn't afford these gold offers because they just kind of randomly appeared and nobody was expecting them. And that was kind of like an argument of not bring them back again. So in my opinion, the problem there does not lie with the gold offers themselves, but something that I talked about in previous video on this channel. It's Kabam's lack of communication, where it's just no advance warning. It's a similar situation that has happened with the trade-in store, where if Kabam does not announce that something's going to happen, people are unprepared, and then if you're not able to benefit from that event because you were unprepared, you're going to be upset about it. But if you know for a fact, or if you expect that event coming, for instance, a trade-in event this time again, for you to trade in 5-star awakening gems into 6-star awakening gem, a lot more people this year would have been able to benefit from that event had it come back, because a lot of people kept it at the back of their minds. And the same thing, I think, would have been this time around with the gold offers, because if people were inquiring about gold offers 2 and 3 months ago, and there were plenty of people who were kind of preparing, stockpiling their gold crystals to be able to get these offers, for better or worse, whether it is the best thing to do for their accounts or not. So I think the problem with the gold offers last year, and majority of the people who were upset with the gold offers, really was just the fact that they did not know that they are coming, and they were not able to benefit from it. Just like with the trade-in store. But, congratulations being on one of the few everyone's. When you are in the minority, and you resoundingly are, as if she knows, offers will not be tailored to your resource excesses. But again, this argument here is, again, the same about money or units or any other currency offer, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, again, without being too dismissive, because I must say on a personal level that I do utterly reject 97% of the arguments made here against gold offers. I think just because an offer isn't for everybody, no offer ever is, or it doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist. The more reasonable argument, I think, was made by another content creator on one of their streams, where they basically said that people who have tons of gold, are also typically the people who are spending on the game the most and are quote-unquote whales. And whales don't need gold offers because, they can quote-unquote afford to spend and give money to Kabam. And then there's people obviously who can't afford and don't spend a lot, and they don't really benefit from gold offers either, so there's no point in having them. But I think that pretty much ignores a large swath of player base who are relatively low spend or free to play, but who are fairly diligent with their resources and grind arena a lot. And I think there is much bigger subset of players who do have, relatively decent amount of gold and don't spend much money, who were waiting for these offers to happen. And I do think that out of pretty much everything discussed in these threads, the fact that there was such a big outrage alone proves that there were a lot of people who really wanted these offers to come. I don't think you need any more like statistics or math breakdowns of how much it costs to rank up a 6-star champion. I think the fact that, immediately all these threads blew up and there was a massive backlash about the fact that gold offers did not return kind of pretty much automatically proves the point that they were welcome, they were wanted, people, were expecting them or hoping for them, and they were disappointed that they did not come. So that ultimately is going to be kind of like my biggest counter argument, regardless of anything else that is laid down. Also, discussing FOMO in this thread kind of literally made me laugh, because fear of missing out, basically, FOMO for these gold offer things. Again, it's just such a facepalm moment. Every offer could be, prescribed with the same idea. Okay, I'm not going to get into too much details, but the point is that there are a handful or a portion of people in the community that think that the return of gold offers and gold offers in the first place were horrible for the game and unnecessary, and they're effectively saying that Kabam did the right thing not bringing them back. I openly disagree with that, and I want to know what you guys think about all of that. Yeah, nice troll post. I think Mike left a good comment, though, that I did want to highlight. One second. Might have missed it. This post is why some of the CCP think they know better than the community despite knowing very little about them. It is something that I immediately read and I quite agreed. Because, again, in the most polite possible terms, without, saying about the person anything else, pretty much everything that I read here seemed either irrelevant or extremely twisted, manipulative, or just flat out wrong. And that's why I did want to cover, because I might be wrong. I might be the one who is not seeing the community here. I might be the one who doesn't understand that, somebody's heart might have been broken looking at their alliance mates pick up a gold offer while you can't do it. But I still don't understand it, and I still can't follow that line of reasoning, because that happens every day with cow crystals, that happens every day with any offers for any currency. Why should we treat these gold offers with some sort of different standards than, any other time in the game? So I guess my question is, what do you think? Were gold offers overall good, nice thing? Do you think, like Dragon, for instance, does, that they were bad for the game and bad for the community? Because I can't wrap my head around that logic. So let me know. But lastly, before I go away, again, this video definitely is not an invitation for anybody to be mean or nasty to anybody else. Keep your comments as respectful as you possibly can, and I will definitely pay close attention to make sure that there is no profanity slung at people who you disagree with. Be that me, or be that the people who think that the gold offers were a horrible idea. I'll catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next